Hi there and welcome to Apple World. The allegations about me and Diddy enjoying freaking off together are returning to a portion of the things Nicki has said about Meek previously. And the subtleties are way more chaotic than you might at any point envision. What's significantly more insane is Nicki was supposedly wanting to uncover everything about Meek in her impending narrative. However, he sent her a quit it before it very well maybe delivered. The insane thing about this is that Nicki attempted to caution us about this a couple of years prior when she exposed Meek for being on the DL and putting his hands on her, yet no one viewed her in a serious way. Individuals were too obfuscated by their disdain for her to try and pay attention to what she was talking about. Okay, so as the majority of you all realize at this point, Meek Mill has been getting hauled for foulness via web-based entertainment after he was uncovered for being Diddy's oddity-off accomplice. This was placed on impact in an unstable $30 million claim filed against Diddy by maker Rodney Jones. Rodney said Diddy forced him into coming to remain with him so they could chip away at his collection anyway. He wound up seeing a few truly upsetting things. He guaranteed Diddy bound his beverage and saped him a few times now. This is where things get significantly worse. More chaotic on the grounds that Rodney continued to detail how he saw Diddy's children, Christian and Justin, as well as compliant plants, youthful Miami and Usher at the parties Diddy coordinated. He blamed Miami for requesting her cousin to follow up on him while he was scarcely sufficiently cognizant to make her stop. He said he saw Justin and Diddy meddling with a portion of the young ladies Miami had recruited to come to the party, and they were doing a few problematic things. He even went similar to blaming Diddy's most youthful child, Christian Combs, for ding and sang a lady. He then, at that point, proceeded to uncover Tame Factory, and uncovered that Diddy by and by let him know that he had connected with Meek Mill and Usher. He said Diddy let him know he made Stevie bust it open with the commitment of him getting a Grammy. Now concerning Tame and Usher, he didn't unequivocally specify why their name. However, the depiction he gave about them was all that could possibly be needed to make us know who he was discussing. He portrayed Meek as the Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj, and alluded to Usher by saying the R&B vocalist who performed at the Super Bowl and had a fruitful Vegas residency. The claim expressed Mr. Combs informed Mr. Jones that he had taken part in cozy stuff with rapper and R&B vocalist and Stevie J, that as well as blamed resigned for connecting with one of the young ladies that were at the party. The claim expressed rapper Meek on Mr. Combs' yacht partnering with not old young ladies and grown-up specialists. Individuals were clearly profoundly disturbed and sickened when this got delivered on the grounds that it demonstrated that submissiveness was essential for this whole thing. Certain individuals quickly began doing a little digging, and they figured out that Nicki Minaj had in fact uncovered Meek in the past for these things, yet it was dismissed as her being harsh back in 2020. She went off on resignation after he enjoyed an obscure post about her significant other. Kenneth negligible. Somebody had photoshopped Kenneth as a life-sized model at the Jimmy Jam store, and Quiet chose to be unimportant by preferring the post. As you may have guessed, preceding this, Meek had made a diss track about Nicki's significant other and, surprisingly, gotten into an actual fight with both Nicki and her better half in a creator store, so she was ready to move on right now, and she chose to go off on him. She got it going by posting pictures of Meek looking pretty fiery on her Instagram stories. What's more, she later blamed him for famously putting his hands on ladies. She said you were a jokester and you did it for likes. Twitter fingers. Ladies frightened of men. Meek Plant answered this by denying at any point put in his grasp on any lady, and even went to the extent that bringing the wreck, including Nicki's sibling Nikki. Then, at that point, proceeded to uncover Compliant for genuinely being forceful towards his own mom and sister on camera, and in any event, spitting on his mother. She said you beat your own sister and taped it, spit on her, and taped it, kicked me before your mom and sent her to the clinic sucking. Drake D caused you to feel extreme again. Continue on. Just later, she said this individuals began to circle a video from her unreleased narrative where she was discussing how Meek would affect her second rate, and how he would be forceful with her. Goodness, like that is the reason I'm similar to perhaps certain individuals would portray me as grating or whatever, since I promised from that age, no man could ever me call out to me, out me, deal with me like that. And afterward, out of nowhere, that was my life. Like I let one person make me so low that as I didn't recall who I was frightened to get in the studio. Like I didn't put stock in myself. I didn't. Nicki later bounced on her sovereign public broadcast half a month after the fact to answer individuals who were telling her that she ought to have picked somebody who was on her level. monetarily as a spouse and not Ken while she was tending to this. She likewise uncovered why she left Tame anyway. This time she indicated him being on the DL and doing freaky things with different men. In the background, can't and a great deal, I won't say no names except for a ton of these individuals that you all maintain that I should be with, be phony on the low gay, be a biv intellectually and truly and verbally, be having eaten messes and pretty much a year prior when she was on Live With. Soulja Boy, she brought these DL claims back up again when she haphazardly inquired as to whether he could name a portion of the DL rappers in the game. Soulja faltered. However, Nikki says she knows 2 or 3. Them and has data pretty much everything that they've been doing quickly. She said this, and many individuals begun to estimate that she was discussing Makisha. I'm sorry I implied Quiet Factory. You think there are a great deal of secret siblings in the business? Gracious God help us sovereign, we have barely any familiarity with Undercover's goodness. We have hardly any insight into that. Okay, cuz I do, you got out whatever gracious I said I do. However, my thing is what's far more atrocious is that back in 2021 when Nicki reported that she planned to deliver her narrative on HBO Max, it was reputed that she had receipts in the narrative about a few peculiar things that happen in the business. That narrative should cover all that she has persevered and seen starting around 2015 till date. That included her relationship with Meek and every one of his partners, including Diddy. It should likewise cover a few insights concerning why she dropped Diddy as her chief only a couple of months after he dealt with her toward the start of her vocation. That's right. You heard that right. Nicki was overseen by Diddy at one point, just after the arrival of her exceptionally fruitful presentation collection, P. Inc. Friday. However, she dropped him after only a couple of months and never glanced back at the time they attempted to cover it up, by saying she dropped him since he wasn't hands-on in her vocation. Yet certain individuals guessed that he most likely attempted to acquaint Nicki with a portion of the oddities he was having. Furthermore, she left before he could get her all messed up in that world at any rate. Returning to the narrative, Meek tracked down and cut it out against Nicki to eliminate all items about him and his partners from the narrative. Many individuals found this dubious since, in such a case where he didn't genuinely have anything to conceal, why was he frightened of what Nicki planned to uncover in the narrative? This likewise makes sense of why she has never delivered or discussed it much. From that point forward, the business made a point to stop her before she could say anything. Anyway, none of Tame and Diddy's tricks worked on the grounds that they are presently getting uncovered by their casualties, and there isn't anything they can do to save themselves this time around. As expected, individuals had their own considerations about this, like this individual who said Nicki cautioned us. Now Nicki realizes a ton about these industry individuals who are doing weird, unlawful demonstrations. Someone else said Nicki Minaj presently can't seem to be trapped in that frame of mind about any person or thing until the following episode. Subscribe Apple World for more videos.